Hello and welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash Ketchum's Pikachu. Holy shit, I fucked up there. No place like Ash Ketchum's Pikachu. We don't evolve. We just level up. Michael, we have hit the home stretch here for this very long 2025 TV, mostly elite television. All right,
It,
I'd say we had a great solid run of like close to elite television here, ending it with Last of Us Season 2, Episode 7, Convergence. Here with Pixel Loose or Michael Schumer from Pixel Loose. Hello, Michael Schumer.
Yellow,
We are
yellow.
here. You have thoughts that you have not shared yet,
Oh,
which means that me and you will be fighting a lot this episode.
yes.
Or maybe not. I don't know. We might be in
See,
agreement. We'll see.
yeah,
Convergence, Michael.
yeah. I'm just gonna leave it there until we get to our discussion points, buddy.
No, you don't. Are you saying you don't want to talk about it?
I do, I do want to talk about it. I do want to
You
talk
do.
about it.
That's why we're here to talk about it. I'm gonna keep saying talk about it because I really love the meme taco. And if you know, you know, and if you don't know, this isn't a political show. So let's talk about it. All right, what happened on The Last of Us Season 2 finale? Convergence. I'm not a fan of these titles, Michael. I don't even know what it
This
means.
is this title. Well, convergence is like the coming together of two things. So it really is an
Fucking
an
lazy.
apt name.
Do better. Stick with. I like when they did title songs.
That was
Like
that was
song
sick.
titles.
When it was song titles, I was hoping that was gonna be a theme, and I was like, I can fuck with this. I can really fuck with this.
Take me on. No, it's day one now. Next episode.
That was the
Day
worst.
2. Nope, it's gonna be the path.
It's so illogical.
forgot.
That's what doesn't make any sense. Like there's no.
Look, let's go through it. I think I have it up.
We're already
still.
getting
Yes.
into the.
we're gonna go through it. Okay.
Let's hit it, brother.
Future Days. Which great episode title? Episode 2. Through the Valley
Another good one.
of the Shadow of Death. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I don't mind Through the Valley, but it's like okay, a little vague, little episode 3, The Path. Episode 4, Day 1.
That's the worst one, easily.
I wouldn't okay, I have thoughts. Episode 5, Feel Her Love. I forgot the thing I kept saying. Oh, Under Her Love. Episode 5 should have been Under Her Love. For that alone, it sucks. Episode 6, The Price. Episode
right.
7, Convergence. They should have at least done The Convergence.
Or something. Yeah, it was just very. I liked the first two ones are very tight, and then it got a little bit weak when I hit. What was episode 3 again? The Path. Path was okay.
The Path.
Day 1.
No.
The Path's
is
okay
a
because the
horrible.
Path is a reference to it's the name of one of the songs in the game too. I can get behind that.
Okay. That was it's fine until they fucked it up with the next one.
That's true. Day 1, it's like, what are we doing here? All right.
Like if the song was titled The Path and then you named the episode The Path based on the song The Path,
Well, let's see.
then
Is there a
that's
song
cool.
named Day 1 to make
but
this?
but the song title The Path is boring.
Shit. Well,
I'm
dude,
just
there's
saying,
a Bon Iver song called Day 1, so I think we have to give it back to Day 1 if we're not
No.
being terrible.
No, that doesn't work.
I don't make the rules. You just said if there are songs. So,
Fuck it, I'm making the rules. It doesn't work.
is there a song named Convergence?
Yes, probably.
There is by Fairy,
Dude.
who's a Vocaloid or something.
Honestly, I think it'd be harder to try to find a episode title that wasn't a song.
Yeah, that probably would be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about it, Michael. What happened on The Last of Us? Ellie regroups with Dina and Jesse, shaken. Jesse is about to take a bolt out of Dina. Dina is screaming, and this is also first shot is Dina screaming, very much similar in the same way. And I don't know if you caught this. as Ellie's mom in the season 1 finale. Same scream, same raining, same type of
Pregnant
scenario.
woman.
They
Yeah.
fucking did it on purpose. I'm just saying. So Dina and Jesse, Dina's trying to get the bolt out, or Jesse's trying to get the bolt out of Jesse. He's putting liquor on it, and then, Dina's just like, none for me, and she shoves it through. Ellie comes home shaken. Ellie talking to Dina reveals kind of what happened in Salt Lake, that Joel killed them all. That Joel died because of what he did in Salt Lake City. They killed him for that because he killed everybody. Dina, with that new information, says, "Let's go home. We're done. Let's go home." Jesse pulls out the bolt to Dina. Jesse calls out Dina for being pregnant. This is later on. I'm like all out of order with this. I shouldn't be talking to people while I write this. Jesse and Ellie go pack up, get ready to meet Tommy in the early morning of day 3. On the way to the meeting point, which is at a bookstore, Jesse kind of calls out, like, what's going on? Like, what's going on with Dina? And it's like, is she pregnant? She's not taking any liquor from me. Like, that's the first thing I think of. And of course, like, yeah, that's happening. Shit is Gus. Jesse very much is like, I can't die here. We can't die here. We're in a war zone. It's not our war. At some point, they come across Seraphites and wolves. Wolves have a Seraphite cornered. Ellie goes to save him. Jesse's like, no. And she goes to save him again, pulls it back like there's 6-on-2. What do you think would happen? We would have died. As they're waiting in the bookstore, they hear a radio call for a sniper. They go up, which I love that's a thing that's in the show, and it's a Joel thing. And I love that they did it. And I love that they didn't be like, just like Joel, because the show's been pretty very on the nose with its writing. Didn't mention any of it, but cool part. There was a radio call for a sniper. They hear shots, and Ellie sees the aquarium, the whale, and goes, that's where Abby is. Ellie wants to kill Abby. Jesse's like, no, we're here to save Tommy. We don't know that's Tommy. We don't know. They said sniper. It's probably Tommy. We don't know that. They kind of fight over philosophical differences. And at the end, Jesse goes to Ellie and says, I hope you make it through this. Ellie goes to the boats. Jesse goes to save Tommy. Ellie arrives to the shore, sees a boat, sees a couple what we assumed are wolves. And as she's about to shoot, she notices a bunch of boats are in the water as they all turn their lights. Isaac is getting ready for assault on Seraphites. Sometime before this, I forget which order this was in, there is kind of like a present day Isaac and Park scene where they talk about Abby. Where's Abby? And they're like, we don't know. What's with Abby? She's a great soldier. He's like, we have lots of, like, the whole crew fucked off. Why do you want Abby? He's like, we have a lot of Mannies. We have a lot of Owens. We have a lot of Mel's. We don't have Abby. She's like, are you in love? She's like, no. Who's going to lead them? I'm probably going to die. You're probably going to die. Like, there's a good chance we both die. Who's going to lead them when we're gone? Like, that person was Abby. She's
Dude,
like,
I think that girl was pissed when he said that, TBH. So,
oh,
fuck
yeah,
you,
sorry.
my ass will be alive.
So there's that whole scene. I forget exactly where it is. I'm pretty sure it's some point where Jesse and Ellie are waiting for Tommy, who doesn't show up for reasons. Ellie, I can't say the reasons.
I know.
Reasons. We also don't know the reasons. We just assume.
True. We have assumptions. I had a lot of assumptions.
We know the reasons. Ellie gets a boat. She tries to go across the harbor. She comes across a really big wave and does the really stupid thing and goes across. It's like she never rode or never drove a boat before and never learned the proper boating techniques. You go through the wave.
Boating techniques.
Yeah. She capsizes her boat. She lands on an island. A Seraphite kid comes up. Seraphites come. They take her. she's very much like, kid, help. And the kid's just like,
Fuck
fucking
you.
kill her.
That shit was so savage. I'm not gonna.
It's just you're like, ugh. Through sheer luck or maybe the enchantment of a necklace or no, enchantment of a bracelet, Ellie gets let go due to an oncoming assaults on their home village to be talked about in 2 years. Ellie takes another boat that she just happens to find. They're just, all around these days. Makes it through, finally gets to the aquarium, where she comes upon an empty aquarium with only an Owen and a Mel. Owen talking about how she plans to save somebody. They also mentioned Abby before it, so presumably Abby. And Ellie makes her appearance, points a gun at them. It's like, I want to know where Abby is. Like, we don't know. It's like, bullshit. You were just talking about it. Where's Abby? She does the Joel trick. You show me on the map. Then you show me next, and they better fucking be right. Owen's like, don't. She's gonna kill us anyway. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm not an asshole like you are. So that was an interesting line. Owen then makes a move. Forward gun gets shot. And it's revealed that Mel also got shot in the neck, slicing her artery. She goes to Ellie. He's like, 30 seconds. Cut it open. Baby. 30 seconds. Cut it open. Ellie, at first looking to do so, does it. And she breaks down in tears. In shock, Tommy and Jesse find Ellie next to a dead Mel, grabs her. In the theater, Jesse, Tommy, and Ellie more or less make peace of what happened in Seattle and the plan to return to Jackson. You get a moment of Ellie and Tommy, or Ellie and Jesse kind of, coming together and be like, you came back to save me. He's like, what if I didn't want to? And through all this, too, Jesse also reveals many things about how he loved another girl. He also mentioned how he wanted to run off with her and how he didn't because he's here for Jackson. Like, his loyalty is to Jackson. He wants to do what's best for Jackson. They need him to be the next Maria. He needs to be alive for his family. So they make peace. And then, boom. Scuffle happens. They run off very dramatically, very heroically. Open the door. Jesse is shot. Abby's right there saying, don't move. Gunpoint to Tommy. Ellie puts her gun to the side, says, I'm the one you want. And bang. The episode's over. And then Abby wakes up 3 days earlier in a stadium. Manny's going like, hey, Isaac wants you. She walks out, sees she's in, what is it, CenturyLink Field? Quest Field? I forget what it's called these days. The Seattle Stadium. Lumen Field? Maybe it's Lumen Field. And day one, Seattle, Abby.
Yep.
And that is what happened.
Oh.
You want to start the segment of 5 questions to appease Michael?
Yeah, we'll start with some. Is this a Are we doing just
I don't.
episode? Or are we locking in for are we doing a season?
Let's do this episode, and then if we want, we can talk more of the season. I want to do a season 3 prediction, like official video at some point in the next month or so.
So, first complaint here. All right, I'm gonna air my grievances. I'll give credit where credit.
No, this is 5 questions to appease.
Well, it gets there because it's a question / a grievance, right? It's a grievance in my opinion on if you agree with this grievance. All right.
No, it's got to at least be a question.
Okay, a question is, why the fuck would the Seraphites be like, we captured this girl offshore, clearly not a Seraphite, but has a boat. We hear an attack in our village. Oh, you can live. It's fine. And just gets on the boat. It was so fucking pointless. What? Like that, I didn't understand that logic, but it was like, huh? Why would you let her go? Like, you kill her. That's your thing. You don't just say, "Oh, it's fine. We
Leave
don't know
her.
what's happening." Yeah, you even if you didn't want to have the whole ritual, you could just kill her, be done with it, and move on. They ain't gonna.
Maybe that's just not how they kill people.
But they have no problem killing people like that. And the other point, like they'll shoot them with arrows and stuff. They don't care if they.
Maybe it's not a part of their religion, Michael. Maybe they have to kill people properly. I don't know. It is weird when you think about it, but like, it's one of those like movie logic things, like with the secret villains, like, ah ha ha, I caught you, Mr. Powers. I'm gonna walk away now so you can escape. It's not like it wasn't like that. It's always why don't you just kill them? And like I think you can ask that question of like, why are you hanging and gutting them in the first place when you can just kill them? Like, why hang them when you can just gut them? So there is like that question. They're hanging for no reason, right? But it takes time to do so. So they would rather hang than just killing them off. So it's an interesting question, and I hope it's a question that someone answered in season 3.
Yeah, they gotta give a good reason. Because for me, like, it was just super, like, I
It
feel like
does.
any reason is gonna be really shoehorned in for this specific. People are like, "What?"
Well, okay. This leads to one of my questions. How do we feel about adding Seraphites to Ellie's story?
Oh, they were. I
There
mean,
was
they
an
were.
ex.
There was.
There was.
Oh, go ahead.
There was an explanation. I didn't like watch this explanation, but I did see like a little bit of like articles that were the articles that come out from like, oh, this is what Neil Druckmann said. And I'm like, there's a whole like show that where they talk afterwards. Like,
Oh
why are
yeah,
you guys
it's
acting like
great.
this
Have you
is
guys
news?
watched this? Have you watched?
I watched it. I watched it the season 1. I have not watched it for season 2. I for some reason I felt like I just didn't want their explanation. I wanted to just have my own explanation before their explanations kind of judge how I feel about it, because
Sure.
I I heard some of their explanations. I mean, it makes sense, but like if you show me something and then you explain it and then I get it, is it still good storytelling? You know what I mean? Like it makes it better, it makes it more understandable, but like I want to be able to get these things like immediately.
I think the story needs to be good enough as is. Have you ever heard the principle death of the author? It's basically like the idea of like reading a story and you imagine the author's dead, so there's no more. The story is what the story is. There's no other stuff, and
Yeah.
how like that can sometimes be a really good thing because it helps you separate art from the artist. Because there's a lot of
Mhm.
questionable art from the past that's still really meaningful today. But if you met the person now, you'd be like, "Oh, you're a horrible person, racist, misogynist, whatever."
It's like enjoying Michael Jackson music these days.
Death of the author,
It's
baby.
hard. It's hard when you think of the person, but like when you forget about the person, you just you judge the art for the art. It's like, oh, this is pretty beautiful music. But then again, once you think of the person, you're like, oh, I feel dirty just listening to this.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
My thoughts on the Seraphites. I was confused because I first thought they were doing a thing from Abby's storyline.
I did too.
And this is where like I read the article and they're like, "Oh no, we wanted to do this in the game, so we're gonna add it." And I like they added 2 scenes with the Seraphites, right? They added the one where Ellie wanted to save him, and they didn't. And then they added, the scene at the end where they were gonna hang her. And my thoughts on it is, just because you have the time and the space to add something doesn't mean it's a good idea to add it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think like them adding it took away from anything. So I have no complaints in that regards. And I know what they were trying to do because I read the article that was basically just a recap of what they said on the show that they do at the end. And I get the idea of like, oh, we wanted this parallel of like, Ellie is someone who saves people and Jesse is somebody who is for the community, right? Like you will go to the ends earth to save somebody and I will do what I need to do for Jackson, for the community. And this idea of like, oh, I got to save this boy, but like Now I'm getting killed by this other boy. And I'm like, I do like the irony and I do like the setup, but I'm like, I just don't think you did it well enough. And I don't think you had enough in the season, nor did you really have enough time to add a story like this.
Mm-mm.
And
It
so,
wasn't
like, to
developed enough.
it just feels added, it feels extra. And like when and this is where like I'm happy that he explained it. When he explains it, it makes sense. But I'm like, I just don't think it does anything to season two. Maybe it adds to season three, but it doesn't really add anything to season two. It doesn't really add to this story. And I'm just like, it just feels like an extra piece where it's like, I have to believe that she spent how many minutes trying to get across the ocean, that then she, drowned. She got all the way back to that island, and that's a pretty good distance.
Mm-hmm.
At least a mile. And then like they were just there, and then they're gonna immediately do that, and then like then the ambush happened, so they let her go, and then she found another boat to drive across the ocean, and then she succeeded and got there, and I'm like, it just feels like it's
Convoluted.
suspending. Yeah, not necessarily convoluted, but I'm like, it just feels like what's the payoff? What's the added? And it feels like they added more depth to the story when I'm like, I don't. Is this just depth for depth? And I do like the added pieces. They added the bracelet, right, from Dina. We're like, oh, you're gonna need this lock, and I'm like, okay, that's. I like it, but I'm like, it just wasn't there, so it just feels like it's just added. Like I like it for the episode, but I don't like it for the season. If that makes sense. Like I liked how everything connected within the episode, but it didn't connect for the season. And I'm like, where's this lucky bracelet early on? Where is this in like all these other scenes? It just feels like you're just tacking on things, and it's like the tacking on. It's like it's well done, but I'm like, it just feels like extra. So I don't hate it, but it doesn't really do much for me. And I know Druckmann was like, nature's like telling you, don't do this, Ellie. This is a bad idea, because like the first time she did it, she almost died, got off from a lucky break, and then immediately does the dangerous thing again to do it. And I'm like, I like that little tidbit.
Yeah, but they could show that. They don't like having to say that doesn't do much for the story.
Well, they did show it, and like I felt that like that's how I was feeling when I watched it, like both times. Like, oh damn, she's doing that shit again. Like that's dedication.
I thought they
Which,
were so before we go any further, I thought they were going to completely alter the structure of the story there when she showed up on the shore. This is where it's stupid. This is why I think it upset me. Without getting spoilers, I thought things were about to converge at a very different point.
you said it. You said the title. Yeah,
You got me.
You didn't even try.
No, I tried. A little bit.
Oh, wait, that was purpose. That
was somewhat, kind of, sort of.
Oh, okay.
It was, I think, more subconsciously than like intentionally.
Probably.
So, anyways, but no, I thought it was about to. I thought everything was going to come to a head at a very different point in time than it did.
I thought so too for a moment.
And that I was like, wow, that's a bold choice. But I kind of, and then when they're like, nope, she's on the boat, and so this was just pointless then.
It feels that way, kind of. It does.
Like I'm not trying to be mean. Like I literally have been the biggest stan for this fucking show. So this is what I was going to bring up. It's not really a question. Well, maybe it is a question, but you'll have to tell me.
Is it more grievance?
And it relates to grievances, but
do I have to change this to 5 grievances to appease Michael?
Yeah, maybe it might be season 3. We'll see. Actually, I don't know. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to
any further. I'm looking forward to season 3. I'm just not happy about the way they did it with season 2. I hope they learn from their mistakes, and make season 3 better. But I do feel like this is a sloppy season. But I'm very skeptical.
I have a different term than sloppy. I don't think it's sloppy, but I have a different term for it. Well, I'm gonna save it.
So what I was gonna ask you is, given where we started at the beginning of the season, because I felt very optimistic. Like I forget what episode it was that I texted you, and I was like, I love this show. Like I think it was episode 3.
Season 2?
Yeah, okay, I think it was episode 3, and I was like, holy shit.
It keeps getting better.
It keeps getting better. I felt
You jinxed it.
Yeah, I did. And then you had just said something about, is it getting better or is it just one of our favorite video games of all time? And I was like, that's a good point. And I thought about it and I was like, no, it does keep getting better. And I would stick by that. Episode 3, I was like,
Was good.
damn, this is going to be
Yeah.
a ride. And then episode 4, I was like, okay. And then
Mm,
episode 5, I was like, okay. And then episode 6 and 7. 6 was okay. It's just all been very okay.
yeah. What's your question?
I remember, so this kind of relating to you saying that, is it our favorite? I felt like you were
Okay.
more skeptical around episode 3. Maybe you weren't, but I felt
Oh,
like
yeah.
you were. Do you still have that? Did you get better or improve for you?
Was I still? I was. I was just curious how they were gonna do the season. I think now we know what they're going for.
Mhm.
I was just like, I just want to know how you're gonna handle it. I didn't mind how they handled it through 3 episodes, but I was just like, I didn't think episode 3 was better than 2. I thought 2 was kind of the peak. Maybe episode 6 for other reasons. But I was just like, I wanted to see what episode 4 or episode 5 was. I wanted to see Seattle a little bit more. I did like episode 3, but I'm like, I want to see how they did this. I was optimistic because I'm like, I trust this team,
Mhm.
but this is a tough story to handle. And I just my season 2 predictions and season 2 concerns when we finished season 1 2 years ago, and we were talking about this, was
I should have watched that before this. Honestly, now that I'm thinking
you
about it,
should
that'd have
have.
been so smart.
It would have been. It would have been. I was just like, I don't know how they're gonna do the story because the story just doesn't fit with what they're gonna do, and that's kind of where I'm at. And I have more thoughts, but I want to save it for the grievance segment of the show
Agreement. It's
that I just added at this moment because I do have grievances.
so. Do we like more of the conflict that we got to see between? I'll say I really did like that we got to see Jesse and Ellie kind of get into it a little bit there. But damn, did that sting a little bit?
I Let's play a game.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of the quiet questions, but there's like questions within the question. Who did it better, the game or the show? And I have 3. I have like 3 questions within this question. The first one is, Jesse, overall, who did better, show or game?
God, I have to marinate on that one. That is a toughie.
Nope, now. Do it now. Do it.
I want to say the game still, to be honest with you.
Really?
I just didn't like. I felt like for what they were going for with him, they didn't give it enough time. I really liked it, but it kind of was like, it's like going to a restaurant. There's something really, or a buffet, and you're like, oh, that's really good. And they're like, oh, yeah, we know it was, but that you just had the last of it. They're not the Last of Us, really.
You just said it. Last of it.
The last of it.
The last piece of pizza.
So yeah, we don't
Part
have
2.
any more for you. That's it. Well, okay, we have some more again. No, that's it. That's
Yeah.
all you get.
It's very abrupt the way they were just like, can I have more? No.
No. So maybe
No.
less is more is a good thing, but I felt like we got more time with him in the game. Personally,
I mean, yeah, you get more time with everybody in the game. I would say proportionally, it feels like we got more Jesse in the show. I'm gonna say show. I think Jesse was better in the show.
I did think of a massive pro for the show. That I think. Well, you say your thing, and I'll say I think the mess for was.
I think Jesse's character feels more formed in the show. I think his arc, what he wants. I just love the scene between Jesse and Ellie and him just being like, is it a problem that me and Dina like the confronting stage? Because in the game, he's just this cool, nonchalant type of dude.
That was always
Like,
so weird. In the game, he's just like, oh, you're with my ex-girlfriend / baby mama. That's cool. It's whatever.
It's just like, bro, that's not cool. He's like, I don't fucking care. Whatever.
Yeah, he literally was like, okay, I would be a
fucking
lot, like, even if you were really good friends, I'd be pretty upset if somebody stole my girl, so to speak.
Like, Jesse's a really cool dude in the game. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like a really cool down to earth, like I'm gonna just help my friends out guy. And that's what he was. And that's all he really there wasn't much to him. We didn't really learn more. We knew he was a Boy Scout, but he was just like he was a cool cucumber Boy Scout. Whereas in the show, he was very much how I would be. Where it's like it's not our fucking war. It's like I'm getting Dina and my fucking kid out of here. Fuck you and your fucking vengeance. And like that, just
Mm-hmm.
the f bombs, and it's just like, you know what? He's very prickly, but you know what? I would. This is exactly how I would be in there in this situation, and I'm like, this to me feels like a very rational thing. But this whole idea of like, you're my friends, I'm gonna save you, but also fuck you for making me fucking do this.
Him
Like,
saying, "I'm not gonna die out here," and I'm like, "Well, that
ooh, you're right. You're not gonna die out here.
you
In
will
there, in
not
that
in that
theater,
building we were just in like 20
you
minutes ago. You would not see it coming. There's no option."
but yeah, it was just I just really liked what the game did, and I like how they made his death like more ironic, and I felt like like his death was more important. Like it wasn't just like boom, oh Jesse's dead, there goes that guy. It's just like, oh fuck, like, and like Allie's already like traumatized by the three deaths that she had to do, like the three like people, like she's traumatized by it. Now her vengeance actually has like a death that she didn't want, which is Jesse. And like now she has to live with that. And like not just her kid, her
Yeah.
potential kid, right? And Dina now don't have a father. And it's because of your vengeance. And it's like this is a consequence of it. So I like that I like the game. Or I like the show.
I think
I like the
now that you explain it more, you bring some more points. I think you're right. It really did show
Mhm.
like Jesse being a lot more. Because in the game, he's just like, it's cool, it's whatever. I mean, he gets a little prickly towards when
Mhm.
the whole Tommy incident plays out, but otherwise, he just is so maybe I'm remembering the song. I need to replay it. I actually have it on my PS5 right next to me, and I started playing it. So
Who did it better? This is the Jesse Ellie split scene. Who did it better?
show. I'll
In
give
the
it
game,
the show.
in the game, right? They came across a boat, and I think there was also like a pathway to Jesse or a pathway to Tommy, and he's like, "All right, this way." He's like, "There's a boat. That boat can get us to Abby." And then that's where Jesse pulls the line. I hope he make it. I hope he make it. In the show, a little bit more dramatic. Go save Tommy. Go kill Abby. We don't know it's Tommy, and this whole thing gets brought up of like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and like there's that point of contention, and then Jesse does that same line. I hope you make it.
I think the show did it better. I do. I
I
think the
agree.
show. These are good points. I will give credit where credit's due. I think it's not the moment by moment problem. The show, like I think with the show, I want to hear your third question, but I think with the show, what I'm realizing is like moment by moment, there's a lot of scenes they adapt differently that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
It's the overall cohesion that I think is really lacking, or just needed some more time in the oven, or at least a few more, even another episode or two, just to fill it out a little bit better. Keep going though.
We will save it for the segment
Yes,
of five grievances
yes.
to make Michael feel better. It's easy. Just five grievances to make Michael. Oh wait, no, five grievances to help Michael cope.
I like Cope.
Cope harder, man. I love that statement. There was a group chat, and the guy would always be like, "Cope harder," and I'm just like, we just it would just end up being a thing, and I'm like, I love that saying, "Cope
It's
harder,"
a good
man.
one. It is a good one.
That's a good one. Last one. Who did it better, show or game? The Owen Mel death scene.
Ooh, now you're hitting one of my favorite moments in the game. To be honest, yeah.
And then I'm gonna add another question on top of it.
Okay,
How do we feel about the Mel baby scene?
show did it better. I just have to be honest. Like the show did it better. I remember being like Haley. I looked over at Haley and she was just, and I was like, "Do you not?" remember this from the
Mhm.
game. We
It was
literally,
different.
it was
A lot of different colors too.
different, but it was like thematically very similar. But yeah,
So you think you think the show did it better?
I guess I'll give it to the show this time.
I like the game more.
Really?
I okay, so I have two thoughts here, two opinions. I thought the show did a good job in the scene, and I like how they did it. I think the way they did it in the show fits what they're trying to go for with the episode and the show overall. The quick cut to the chase, like we're just I like how they did it. It was one shot. It made it more accidental rather than two. And I don't know. I like the scene, but I like the game a little bit more because I like the dog part in the beginning. I like, you know, it just felt like there was more to it, and it was more intentionally like Ellie shot both of them. She didn't want to, but like her actions, her push for vengeance led to their death. And it was also like, because Owen took the shot because he didn't want to give up Abby.
Yep.
And he also knew Mel would.
Yep. I think so. Here's my counter argument to it. I think there are parts about the game I like better, like when she starts vomiting when she realizes that she's pregnant. I like that better because there's a lot more like visceral. With her being like, my god, like that. It's like that, like where she's just kind of like self-examining.
I also just like the fact that like when the baby, like when she saw that she was pregnant, there was no, it was just that, and then she was just like, just the realization that she killed a pregnant person, and like she's taking care of a pregnant person, she just killed a pregnant person, like that guilt was just there, and you just knew. Whereas I feel like in the show, and this is where we'll talk about the Mel baby scene. I don't hate the baby scene. I just don't get what they were doing.
I think they were trying to really show it was a more clear demonstration of like how this vengeance doesn't just impact Ellie. It's not just there's going to be victims that are innocent or not, and yeah, like Tommy uses the rationale of, well, they made their choice, but that baby didn't. They didn't like that. Huh? We're gonna get some. They just got to insert on the response to that. But it's like it's more like the collateral damage. Like, Mel was willing to give her up. She was like, I don't give a shit. Like Mel was actually in that moment, like I mean,
like the Mel baby scene, the scene where Mel's like, take my baby out, cut the cervix.
Yes,
cut the baby
I get what
out.
you're saying there. I'm getting there.
That scene, like yeah. So like everything before it, it's fine. It's just the baby scene at that moment. I'm just like, what are you saying here?
Like, I think it was just, they were just trying to say like, I think they were just trying to like once again just show like Ellie's fall from grace, so to speak, right? And I think they were trying to show like she's not a bad person, but she's not thinking right. She's not thinking right, and this is the consequence when you're like, it's like when you're mad and you're on the phone with somebody. And you're driving, and you kind of like if you're yelling at somebody, you kind of do something stupid, and you catch yourself, and you have that, holy fuck, what I almost got hurt there, or just in general. I'm picking driving.
I didn't take it that way at all. I took
really,
it as like
when I read, that's how I was like, it was just like
no, I read it as like. I read it as like, she's desperately trying to save her baby. Like we still got the guilt of like her dying is there and all that. But just the added of like cut the baby open, get the baby, and then her making the decision not to. And I'm like, I like that I saw. I like that I saw it. I'm like, I don't mind the scene itself, but I'm like, there's so much in this fucking episode where I'm just like, why are you adding this on top of all the other things you added? And like, what does this do to the story? What is this? Like, you're tacking this on. But it's like, are you like Abby's making the choice, or Ellie's making the choice to not save the baby, and even though like she's going to be a dad, and there's that extra guilt. But I'm like, is this supposed to be extra guilt? Is there supposed to be a mess? Like, I don't get it. It feels like it's trying to be controversial. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like they're trying for it.
I don't think she could try to. I think maybe we're looking at two different things here, like in terms of if I'm understanding your grievance of the scene. A grievance for Jacob.
I just don't see why add it. You know what I mean? I don't see
I think it
I
just
don't get it.
demonstrates that further fall from grace, and like when she can't bring herself to
But
save the
like,
baby, like
but
she has that like it's like looking somebody in the eye that you killed them, not only them, and
they
then
did
you
that
killed
though
their
in the
child.
game. They
Yeah,
did
but
that in the
it's
game.
that humanization, that connection of like you're gonna save my baby. I don't care that you killed. You just gotta save him, her, whatever. And Ellie's like, yeah, but Ellie's like, I'm in over my head. I don't know what I'm doing here,
I
and like
get
just accepting like if I kill, and like Haley pointed out too, like if she didn't, even if she saved the baby, they're in a huge storm outside. She has no milk or any way to feed the baby.
that
Doesn't
baby's
even know
dead.
how old. Yeah, it's dead no
That
matter what.
that
So that's like
baby's dead.
it's like having to like it's like one of the few things that she can do is to comfort this dying, and I wouldn't even say comfort. It's just that she's like kind of playing along because she's like, yeah, you're doing a good job, as she's like, dying and bleeding out. Which I'm amazed she didn't try to put massive pressure on there to be like, okay,
Right.
I'm gonna coach you through this shit. I'm dying fast, but she kind of maybe she did. Don't remember her really pushing her
She
neck.
was
Really,
she was trying to, and she
but I
said
guess the
30
blood is probably
seconds.
just going so like.
I just from a writer's perspective, just the question of what's the point, and like when I say that is because the guilt and all, like it's all there. The game are like she already showed the guilt. Like, hey, your death has consequences. So I'm like, I just don't get the added of Mel asking to save the baby, and maybe there's a season 3 thing they're gonna add in. But
God, they
I
would
don't,
just to be sadistic fucks, dude. They're gonna
I
add
don't,
something that's gonna make it even worse.
right? Yeah.
100%.
And like I hope so at this point. I hope they're adding like different things so they can add to it in season 3 and you're just like, "Oh, that makes okay. Oh. That makes it more tragic." Um why are we getting Abby and Isaac's lore now? I thought that was
So,
interesting. Where
God, you're gonna see. This is where you're baiting me right now. You're baiting me. You don't want me to rage, but you're baiting me, bro. You're just gonna bait me, bro. What you doing? You got a little fishbowl over there, brother?
No, I'm
All
just
right. Well, here's why. It's just sequel baiting, dude. That's what it is. I mean, I don't disrespect it. I understand that they're making season 3, but it's 100% just sequel baiting of. There's more to this story. You're not aware yet. Like, I think they did a good enough job with the last few. I don't think
I like that he did this, by the way.
I do like that they did this, but
I like it is. I do like that they're showing it. I like how they showed like Isaac taking off, and I'm like, because in the game we don't really know any of what's going on, and I like that we're getting a little bit more information now because it's like, okay, something's happening. We don't know what's happening, but something's happening. I mean, me and you know what's happening, but we like general audience goers do not. So I really liked it, but I'm just like it just feels out of place now. It doesn't feel it's like you're right. It's more like they're baiting. Also, the lady that plays Park, I'm pretty sure she was in Daredevil Born Again as like a detective.
Really? That's awesome.
I do not like her acting.
She's very wooden.
Very like she just seems like a TV actor. Like she doesn't feel like a real person. She feels like a TV actor in like I don't know. I didn't really care for her acting. And I'm pretty sure I thought she was also in Daredevil Born Again. I could just be having a bad moment of, white guy mistakes Asian lady for another Asian lady moment. That could be me.
Well, let's find out. We do. That's the beauty of the internet, isn't it?
It is.
Well, okay, let's see. Last of Us.
White guy moments with Jake.
Park. Probably would have made that a recurring theme there, my friend. But you get one.
I get one.
All right, I found
the actress. Is she in Daredevil Born Again?
Oh, that's funny. She has the same last name. All right, we're gonna go. All right. Let me see.
Here I go.
You do not want to know the answer to this.
Is she not in Daredevil Born Again?
She is not in Daredevil Born Again.
Oh my god.
That's it. Wrap it up, folks.
If this happens,
it's okay.
If this happens a third time, then okay, I'm gonna say racism. Sorry, I out myself out here. Okay,
But
I didn't like her acting. I didn't really care for it. It just felt very flat. She reminded me of another Asian lady in Daredevil, which was just terrible writing too, by the way. Like the scenes that that person was in was also just terrible writing, but also just wooden acting on top of terrible writing. I don't know. I'm gonna digress and move on to something else. I mentioned this briefly, but did you catch the season one opener and how it was similar? Did you catch that at all or not?
mm-mm, I
Okay,
did
you're gonna have
not.
to watch it again and we'll have to get back to it. Last one, my last question, and it's not a big question. Are we mad that we didn't get Seattle City Rivers?
Dude, okay.
I completely understand why they didn't do it, but
That's
I
what
was also
I can be mad about it, but I'm also it would be pretty wild if they fucking were like, all right,
I
we're gonna
wanted to
construct.
see it.
I
I
just don't know
wanted to
how
see
you
a
would do it
live action
logically.
set.
That part is
I
so
don't know either.
fucking sick, though. That is one of
I
the coolest
wanted to
parts of the
see
game.
it. I wish they had a live action set of this somehow this river gushing through the city of like these city streets and this is how the river is and like you have to like navigate the boat. I get why they skipped it. It honestly makes more sense cuz in the game I'm just like do rivers work like this? Like would this like and like I've been to Seattle and like I don't feel like this would like was there a water source near downtown where it would have this big of water flow to create this like amount of rapids and current through the city? I I didn't get that sense. Like I was like doubting the believability of it like while playing the
Mhm.
game. So I'm not mad about it. I'm like I really just I wanted to see at least
So
one. At
I just
least
had an
one.
idea. They should have had that in there or not should have. It would have been better. That would have been a better way to have the whole thing with the Seraphites than the island, than them her landing on that island. You know what I mean? At
Yeah.
least if
Cuz like
if you could literally have them show up, get into a firefight. She is about to get got, and then that happens, and they start leaving, and you see all the boats headed to this island. That's all you need. That's basically all you got. That's
yeah,
all you
that's all you
got, but
need.
just better. And then Ellie, like, it would be still kind of a little off, but it would be a point of like, hey, Ellie, remember how you tried saving those kids, and they're more than willing to kill you.
Yeah.
So
All right. We're at 47 minutes. Grievances. All I got for the rest of it is ratings. The ratings for the finale in the show, MVC and MVB for all of it. So we can talk a little bit more about grievances. I well, let's talk about ratings, and then we'll get into grievances. Let's do
okay,
that.
let's do it.
So here's my rating for the finale. I thought it was a 4 plus. I honestly think it's a great finale for what it was. I could complain about the extra little bits, the Seraphite, the baby scene, Isaac with Abby. It feels me knowing where the story goes. I'm just like, why is that there? I don't get it. But overall, for the story that they're trying to tell, I thought they did a really good job. I thought the performances were amazing. We didn't even talk about performances. I thought Bella Ramsey was actually really good here. I thought I forget who plays Jesse,
Kill Endeavor.
but I thought,
Oh no,
yeah,
just kidding.
I
Mazino
thought
Young.
he was. Oh yeah, yeah, that sounds familiar. I thought he was amazing. I didn't think his acting was what it at all. Just saying, it's just I'm praising another Asian actor here. Just I know another white guy moment to be chalking up.
Rafting up.
You just the dead silence here.
Yeah.
All right. Um,
You're lucky we're not in front of a studio audience, Jake. That'd be
I would just roll with it, or it would be just dead silent. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I don't know. 4 plus finale. Like, I thought it was a really good finale. I thought it was,
mm,
and before the show even started, I got perspective from a friend who watched the show, didn't play the game. He fucking loves it. He's all in. By the way, friend of the show. Michael, what is yours
oh.
for this finale?
So if you're gonna judge it off a finale, then it's gonna. If I'm judging it based off it's the finale
For what
status,
they're
not just the
trying
episode.
to do, like think diving, right? You score it for what they're trying to do, and the complexity of what they're trying to do. It's kind of like that.
3+ maybe, soft 3+, hard 3.
Okay. Okay.
My reason being is just they're trying to set up a larger story. For sure, I get that. But if you're going to have this be a season finale, and I understand with the structure of the game, this would be is a very hard thing to pull off.
No,
But
yeah.
it's just not like if I'm looking at this as like objective without the perspective of it, it's just kind of a lackluster finale. It didn't have that feeling of holy. There's episodes of TV you watch as finales and like, holy shit, I need to rewatch it again. That was fucking insane. I literally have never seen something quite like it before. And you just end up watching that episode again. You're like, oh, I can't wait till the next season. This is like it's passable. I get what they're trying to do. I get that it's very hard to end this on a solid note, but I kind of feel like they didn't do enough with it. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, a season finale should be it's supposed to be the episode that you're signing off. You're like, we're not going to be back for 2 fucking years, bitches. You got to have a hook. Like, it's...
Yeah. I mean, the hook is day one.
But that can't be. That's too much.
What happened? What happened, Michael?
But I'm saying,
what
like,
happened with Abby and Ellie? What happens? I want to know what happens. I want to know what happens. But that's what I'm getting at, though. The people who haven't played the game. Anyway, okay. So I think we got our grievances of the show, or for this finale, pretty much out. So this is where we go to the ratings for the show. My first thought was 4, but then I typed ... I think I'm going 4-. I think like the show was a 4 until the finale. And yeah, I gave the finale a 4+. But the show was a 4 until the end. It's weird, it's complicated, but here's why I give it a 4-. I think for the most part the show is great. I think the acting is amazing. I think the action for the most part is amazing. I think the set pieces were amazing. I think there's moments where I'm like, that doesn't look as great. The Seattle Mart, I was like, the video game pulls this off a lot better. I feel like the show should look better than the game sometimes, but the games are pretty good. So maybe that shouldn't be, I'm rambling here. The show is mostly great, but overall, as a whole, this season feels clunky as fuck, and that was my biggest concern going into this season from 2 years ago. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, and
I don't know how they're going to pull it off as a 3-season approach. That is,
I know it. I know now how they're going to pull it off. I just don't think it's a good. I just don't think with how they're trying to do it is a good way to do it. And here's why. I thought everyone was complaining about the pacing of this episode. That's what I saw like on some of the comments was, oh, the pacing was bad. Oh, the pacing was bad. Oh, it was so quick. And I'm like, guys, the pacing's been the same the entire show. It's a quick pace through the story. This episode was a quick pace to the story, to the big moment. It was 40 minutes. Guess what? Season 1 finale, Salt Lake City. It was under 40 minutes. We cut to the chase. We got there. Joel massacred the hospital, and it was very quick. They decided to make a very quick version of the show, a quickly paced version of the show. This pace works well for season 1. They could do this in season 1 because the 9 episodes, you hit the strong parts of the story, and like this game is made for TV in that sense. Mm-hmm. Season 2 isn't made that way. Season 2 is an Act 5 structure where there is multiple moving parts, and there's a lot of different like context that happens. Like the story in the game is great because when you're chilling in those moments, that's where the characters connect. And so this season 2 was always going to be the question of how are you going to do it? And they're like, we're going to do it in a very similar way of season 1. And I'm like, I think that's where they've messed up. I don't think that structure works. I don't think it's not like it's fine. I think 4 minus, like, I'm like, I think we have the right people. We have the right actors and actresses. I don't really have a complaint with anyone. I know Bella Ramsey, there's heat of contention there. I think she pulls off her Ellie very, very well. But I think they messed up with structure. And I think they messed up with pacing. And I think they're trying to do this in like this 7 episodes. I'm like, you should have just made this 10 episodes. You should have slowed it down. And you should have, instead of trying to tell a game like the video game, you should have just told a television story.
Yes.
You should have just made a traditional TV show, switch what you needed to make the story work.
So
Right? You had to. Sorry, I'm cooking here, man.
You're good.
You
You go. Keep cooking.
you had to make like you have to be bold with this story. This is a bold video game story. It was an empathy test, and it was a beautifully crafted one. Once if you understand it, you love it, and if you don't understand it, you hate it. It wasn't meant for a TV show. And so, in order to adapt the story, you had to make it a TV show. And I don't think they did that. I think they tried to just tell the story the way they told it from season 1. And I think they're telling it when some of the best, like, I think they're telling it the best way they can. It just doesn't, it feels clunky. And here's my biggest thing, Michael. My biggest complaints. If you're going to tell a story this way, then tell the whole story this way. Don't do this like, oh, we'll make season 2, we'll make Ellie day 1, and then wait 2 years. No, don't fucking do that. That's stupid. That's dumb. Just like make the entire game, shoot it up, and release it within a year. Like if we had to wait 3-4 years for this version of the game, that's fine. Age up the characters. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But to do this and tell an incomplete story, and it is incomplete, and now we have to wait 2 years, it feels clunky as hell.
See,
And
I wanna ask something now because you're cooking here, and I want to get your opinion. So does
yeah,
it really deserve? Does it really deserve a 4 then? Because that's my thing. Is like you're left still feel you can. It's really good. It's like you have a burger and it's very good, but then the fries are cold. Your drink's got some mysterious liquid in it that you're not sure where it originated from, and a lot of, I just that's where I'm more asking as a friend.
It was a 4 until I got the whole picture of season 2, and this is where I'm like, it's a 4 minus because like here's why it's a 4 minus. It's mostly great. Episode 2, the Joel episode, it's a 5. I look back and I'm like, that's a 5. Episode 6 for the story
episode.
For the story that they were trying to tell. I'm like, that's like a 4 plus 5 minus. I'm like, there is a lot of great elite writing here. But there's also a lot of clunkers. There's a lot of on the nose writing, and there's also Neil Druckmann trying to be cute with the story and also trying to make it very obvious for people to get it. But in doing so, you make a very clunky television show, and it's a 4 minus because it is great, but I'm questioning if it is because of how clunky it is. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm gonna cook now.
All right. Do it.
At the stove. Let's hit it. Hit the burners. I would say, at its best, I would give it a 4 minus. At its best, I would not give it anything higher than that. I'd say it's a hard 3 plus. I think it's a lot of the issues you put up before. I think are the best way because the quality is very good. When it's there, it's like, God, this is good.
It's elite. It's elite level.
Very good. The problem is what you said there is that it's too goddamn clunky. I was really hoping with this adaptation, especially knowing that they were going to probably break it into multiple seasons. And at one point, I think they talked about having all part 2 in one season, which would be. I'm glad they did not do that. That would have been god.
I think they should have. I honestly think that I think they should have.
Maybe that could have worked, but I would be hesitant that we
18
would have got that.
season, 18 episode season.
Yeah, but they're not gonna do that. That's the
They
thing. It's
should
like
have.
this is where I think this is the problem is that HBO is doing a disservice to its television creation. This is the
I mean,
same problem with
probably
House of the Dragon. You can't like
Netflix too.
these 7 episode seasons are ass. Nobody likes them. People watch them because like, yeah, we want to fucking know. But more often than not,
That's what sunk Disney.
Huh?
That's what sunk Disney.
Yeah, it's like they need to. They
And
just
Disney
need to stop.
Plus.
So here's my problem with it: is structurally, that is where the biggest problem is.
Yeah.
When we got 3 episodes in, I was like, okay, they're taking their time. I was still pretty skeptical. But if you had shown me the draft up to the show of season 3, I'd be like, wow, I really like this. Is they're taking their time. They're really exploring things. And then it's just like, it's kind of like you're walking with somebody and you're walking on a nice trail and they're like, there's birds over there. And then they just go on a dead sprint. And you're like, what the fuck? And you go up to them and then they're just walking real slow. You go, that was it. Okay, maybe you saw a spider or something. I don't know. And you're walking. And you're like, okay. And it's just like this. So there's stuff
It's like me trying to jog, realizing I don't have it.
It's just like they needed like 3 more episodes. At least 1 or 2 more episodes. They needed an episode to really slow down. So when they get to Seattle, take their time. Like have them really go over this, discuss it. Have more stuff with the Seraphites and the Wolves too. Give us a little bit more of that. Yeah, like
slow down the action.
Because when was the last time we saw an Infected? Did we see an Infected last episode?
No.
Or well, I guess we saw Eugene, but that doesn't really count.
No.
Not in this episode.
Episode 5?
Yeah.
Episode...
Which was admittedly one of my favorite parts. I really like the spores. But
Episode 5, yeah.
Yep. But anyways,
the spores. I'm still mad about the spores.
I like the spores, but
I like the spores. It's just you. If you're gonna bring it back, do it right.
It's fair. It's a fair critique.
Like if you're gonna take them out, like it's so wishy.
That's why I'm just amazed you're giving this a 4. That's what was blowing my mind right now. Or a 4 minus. Like a 4 minus, I can get behind that because that's where I'm at. But like a hard 4, I'm like, or no, I guess it's not a hard 4.
Let's go through my ratings again. Okay, 1 trash, 2 meh, 3 good, 4 great, 5 elite. 4 minus. I'm like, it's mostly great.
But there's some, okay, fair point.
It's mostly great. I'm like,
I felt like it was very good, but I don't know if I would put it. It got
like when it comes to structure-wise, 2+.
Yeah, it's like what was happening here.
2+. Here. I want to. Do I do this now or do we? You know what? No, we're gonna do this now.
All right.
This is how I would have done the season. This is how I would have done the show. And I've already said basically how I would have done it. And I have 2 ways of doing this. Okay?
I know one of your ways is the hot take. I like fundamentally disagree, but go ahead.
You can disagree with it, but I'm still on it.
It's your show. It's your show.
We both agree that the way they're going about it now, and I think they're going to continue. Like we're getting another 7 episode season with Abby, more than likely, if not even less. Or we're getting a full season 3 with like the California stuff too, and we're getting like 9-10 episodes there. I don't know. They could do. I could see them doing that now. Here's the thing. We both agree that if they continue to do this like really 40-50 minute episodes and we get like each day or like back, like it's just too quick, too much. Like it doesn't cook enough. It doesn't marinate enough to taste amazing like the game does, right? And I think that is a problem with season 1 as well. I think we both agree this isn't the best way to go about it. So to me, that gives me 2 ways to go about it. 1, you continue the way that you're doing, but instead of releasing season 2 and season 3, you just make it season 1 part 1 or season 2 part 1, season 2 part 3 or part 2, and then you just release it spring, fall. And then you just hype it up. in the spring, then you hype it up for the fall, or you wait a year.
A
Because like
year, I
if you're
think, would
telling,
even be more acceptable. It's just 2 years. It's just too much.
if you're like, okay, next, like season 2, part 2, 2026, I'd be like, ah, dope. All right, I'm a lot more excited for this because
Mm.
there's that gap, there's that year gap. You come into the season fresh, you're like, all right, Abby time, right? Um, 2 years too long. Like, why the fuck am I gonna care about season 3? Like as a fan, just like I care because I love the story. Why, as a casual, if were like meh on this story, why the fuck would they care about Abby season 3? 2 years from now,
Yeah, well,
like
that's the whole problem.
next
Yeah.
next year, yeah, fall definitely. 2 years from now, it's like, oh, okay, that's. Am I that dedicated to the story? It's like, I don't know. The other way I would
Um,
have done it, and this is how I would rewrite the show entirely, Michael. 10 episodes a season. 10. Like Game of Thrones. Season
mhm.
1, 10 episodes. We're going to lengthen that baby out. We're going to ease into it. Episode 1 might just be Texas, the whole flashback. And then you start season or episode 2. You just take your time, get to know the characters, make it an actual TV show, not an adaptation of a video game. Because that's what this feels like. That's what season 2 feels like. It feels like an adaptation. No, make it a fucking show. Season 2, you get the Jackson. Season 3, that's where we get Seattle, the big Seattle. And we take our time into it. 5 episodes, it's Ellie. 5 episodes, it's Abby. And then we get the big finale at the end. Maybe we make it 11 episodes just for that. Season 4, we get California, but not just we get California, we get more. And then maybe the story continues, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it ends there. Right? But it's a television show through and through. It's a television show that's adapting the story, but it's making sure it's a television show.
I think you're right.
Like you're just retelling the story, but you're doing it to fit the format rather than just doing this clunky ass thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna make it short and cut, and it's like, no, just 10 episodes, lengthen
just
out.
gave me an idea here. Give me 1 second, because I think you're kind of hitting the exact problem on the head. Give me
Yeah,
two
so
seconds.
2 seconds.
Well, you keep talking. I
And
just
Michael,
wanted to.
and I just like we could talk about this later too, like how we would have done it, and we could have done this because I do want to get the MVC and MVB before we get too much into the rabbit hole.
That's fair.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. I just lengthen it out, make it a TV show.
So
Like,
the
give us
three
more time.
highest rated episodes, actually the
Mhm.
four, episode 1, season 1, episode 5, season 2, season 1, episode 8,
Mhm.
season 2, episode 2, and season 1, episode 1. And what I think about the number one thing that joins us all together, I think is that you hit it right on the head, is they were an adaptation. They took their time. They told the story methodically.
Mhm.
They added in stuff you didn't care about. You didn't even know about in the game.
Ooh,
You're like, oh, that's
I
so cool.
fucking love that in season 1.
And it's just, they just did not, like, and like even episode 2 of season 2. Amazing, like all the stuff with Joel and like the shamble,
Add
the infected attack.
more.
It was just like whoa, and then it's just kind of like it's like they went in with a huge bang and then just kind of floundered.
It's just, and I now understand why Craig Mazin doesn't want to do part 3. I think he struggled with this, and I think he struggled with
As
these
he said,
drunk
he
men.
didn't want to do.
He said he didn't
Part
want to do
3?
part 3. He's done. It doesn't matter if the game gets made. He doesn't want to do it. And I'm like, I get it now. This feels like this wasn't going well. It doesn't feel like it was as solid and smooth as part 1. This feels like there was a lot of things that just didn't. I don't know. Like, I don't know who had more control, but it feels like Neil Druckmann
Craig
took
did, is
more
the
of a.
problem.
I think he took more of a lead here, and he did shit that just doesn't work for TV. Like,
I
that's
don't
going
think
to be
he
my
had many
guess.
writing credits though, dude. I'm pretty sure this was all
Neil Druckmann?
Craig. He had some, but I don't think he was the lead writer.
Episode
on half
6.
these. Episode
I
6, he
don't know.
was.
I don't know. It just feels like somebody struggled here, and it might be Craig Mazin, just based on those comments. But we're getting into a little bit of speculation. Let's get the NBC, MBV. We're gonna hit this back up anyway because we really enjoy Last of Us.
We do.
All right, we're gonna do for the episode first. NBC, most valuable character.
Ooh.
I have two, only two, and I think I'm leaning one area. I think I'm gonna. You go. You say.
I'm still torn here. I'm still torn. So you should go.
I think I'm giving it to Jesse, and I didn't think I was going to. I really liked his characterization. I thought his character was like on the nose, not on the nose, but I was just like, yeah. I'm like, you know what, Jesse? Yeah. You're making a whole lot of sense here, and I learned a lot more about him. MVP, I also give the guy who plays Jesse.
Yeah.
Ellie fucks up a lot.
Yeah,
she fucks up so much. Where I have 7 people down or 7 people / groups down for most valuable villain, and my number 1 is Ellie with a question mark.
Yeah, she just is.
Is she not the villain of this episode?
She really is.
Is she not?
She keeps throwing herself like Dina's Dina's got a fucking hole through her and is pregnant. They don't know where the fuck Tommy is. They're in the middle of a war, and she still just throws herself headlong. I mean, it's part of what makes her such a fascinating character. She's not like atypical like heroine, I guess. She's very like you're kind of like, dude, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of there. But that's just kind of her shtick, I guess. I think. Yeah, I think
that's what I'm just like. I think it's Ellie here. Like she's kind of like there's a lot of other options. My number 2 is Abby. Just before like what happens at the end. Number 3 is Owen and his stupid, dumbheaded mistake there.
Yeah. Wait,
number
before
4,
we go any further, I just want to say one thing. Because we didn't really touch on this, and I think this is important to give credit. Caitlin Dever absolutely fucking nailed that last scene.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. When we gave you a chance.
I'm excited for her.
Wasted it. Well, you hear I guess you just hear the. Yeah, I was like, I'm
excited for season 3 because I'm her performance as Abby is not the same as the game, but I'm enjoying her take on it.
Her energy.
Instead of like,
should we tell people my hot take on what I think it says going to happen with season 3?
Save it for the next one, man.
Okay.
Season 3 predictions. Season 3 predictions. I do like her energy. She like Beefcake Abby in the game is more like I'm gonna fucking pull through like her like this version is like psychotic Abby. Like I'm gonna rip you into pieces with my teeth, Abby. The other one's like I'm gonna crush your skull with my hands. This one like I like
Barbarian
the energy she's
bringing.
Like think like giant dog ripping your arm off and little dog nibbling you to death.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Dead no matter what, like, but there's definitely a different experience.
Like
there.
One's like brutality and one's just ferocious, and like this Abby's ferocious. Number 3, Owen. Number 4, Seraphites. Number 5, Isaac. He might be higher, honestly. I was considering Isaac just number 1, but he wasn't anyone's villain, so to speak. 6 is Wolves. And number 7, that Seraphite kid.
That Seraphite kid. Yeah, that Seraphite kid specifically said, fuck you to Ellie.
All right, for the season. MVC and MVV for the season 2 of The Last of Us. I have a top 5 here.
I got my answers pretty, I think, locked and loaded.
I think number 1. I think number 1 is obvious.
For villain or hero, or for villain or hero?
Both.
Both? Oh, yeah. You got the same person for both.
No. I just think
what are we starting
I think it's
with?
Obvious. Let's go MVC. I can go 5 up. Can I go 5 up?
I got 1.
Number 5, Gale.
Okay, yeah, that was not on my list, but that's a good answer.
I thought you'd appreciate it.
I did.
She was great. I liked her as a side character.
I love Catherine.
Number 4, Jesse. Number 4, Jesse. Honestly, wasn't gonna make this list until this episode. He was just that
He
good
owned
this
that.
episode.
He owned that
Yeah.
performance.
Number 3, and honestly, I thought this person might have took it just based on the first 3 episodes. Dina. And my 1 and 2, Joel's my number 2, and Ellie's my number 1. I don't know how I can reverse it.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay.
Joel's story.
It isn't. I think that's how
He's
most
just the
difficult
catalyst.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's most difficult for the gamer side of, or like people that play the game to adjust to is like, you think it's Joel's story, but you're like, dude, this is not his story. It's called The
was
Last
never
of
his
Us, not The
story.
Last of Joel, stupid.
Yeah, The Last of Us. Someone has to die if there's the last.
Yeah, idiot. I'm gonna go troll the fucking people that are still angry about the game with that
Last of Us, idiots.
one. Idiot.
Anything.
Fucking dumbass.
That's why it's not just about Ellie. It's Abby there too. She's part of us now, idiots.
Yeah, like the little, you got a little snake in. I would say my most valuable character. I'd give it to Dina. Isabel Merced.
You're giving it to Dina?
Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%.
Okay. This is for. Hold on. This is the character though, not performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You think Dino's the most valuable character?
100%.
Really? Okay.
She
I'm for the Dina love, but
My thing
over
with-
Ellie.
over Ellie because I do feel like the writing for Ellie kind of tanked this season a little bit because in the game she's fucking smart and they definitely. The one complaint I heard over and over again this season is they made Ellie dumb as shit in the show, and I'm like, yeah, they kind of did. Like she's reckless in the games, but she's not stupid. If that makes sense. Like in the show, she's just blatantly like. In the game, like she's a bullet sponge, so you're just an unstoppable fucking force of nature.
Well, yeah,
And
but she's
and
more strategic.
Yes, but that's what I was going to say. But she still has to play very strategically, and like you have to be like trick people to go run over, and like you go sneak past them, and like we didn't see that at all this season. Like I was hoping to see.
Not really.
I was really hoping to see Bella have to be like do this kind of like I can't kill them because I'm bigger. I'm going to kill them because I'm going to fucking trick their asses. That would have been more like, damn, all right. And I think she just constantly just threw herself headlong into danger, whereas Dina was kind of the more practical person, and then who at the end is like, yeah, I'm not dying in Seattle for this anymore. I'm done, dude. I got a fucking arrow through my leg. I'm pregnant. I'm done with this shit.
But there's no story without Ellie.
There isn't, and Ellie is still
and that's why she's the most valuable character to the story because she. The main character is always going to be like a favorite
the
here.
Last of Us?
I mean, she's the last of her and Joel.
And their community.
Yeah. I do love that line, by the way. I do love that line.
Yeah, that was savage.
And I wish we could talk more on that because I do really like that line. I'm gonna still say it's Ellie, but I mean I do like me some Dina. Like I really liked her characterization. I just didn't think she did. Like if Dina was more of a player in the last how many episodes, I would say Dina.
Okay,
but that's why I'm going Ellie here. MVV. I think there's 2 answers here.
Okay.
I think you could say obviously Ellie is in a way a villain. And I'm just going to not say any more on that because
reasons.
You know why.
Reasons and things.
I think the MVP is Abby. She's the catalyst that starts it off and she's the villain at the end. I think naturally we weren't going to get much in the season with her. We got more than we definitely probably expected.
I would agree with that take.
But I think like there is, unless you say Ellie, there isn't really a villain. And there was never really a villain in the game. And I think that's just, it's Abby. She's the hit. So yeah. This show doesn't quite work for MVC MVV. Like it's kind of like clear cut dry. But when you have an ensemble, there's more of it. And this is an ensemble, but it's an Ellie story.
Mm-hmm. I think you're
Who?
right. A villain. I would say villain is definitely Abby. At least, but at the same time, Jeffrey Wright. I know he's not involved in it, but just his presence is so
Oh,
commanding as
I,
Isaac, and I'm just like,
I,
ooh, it's toss up
I
between those
loved
two.
I loved every Isaac scene, even though I was like, why the fuck is this here? Like, I wanted more Isaac scenes, and I'm happy to get more Isaac scenes. So I put him on the list. He was number 3, but I'm just like, I don't. Maybe next season. Maybe.
I think it's gonna be the season, Jeffrey Wright.
Um, I didn't write a list for this, but most valuable performer. Who's like the best actress? I think we have a. There's Isabel Merce definitely is on there.
Yep, Isabel Merced definitely
Um,
earned her stripes. Or Caitlin Dever. Honestly, I'd give it to those
yeah,
two.
I
I'd give it to
I
Dina and
I don't
Abby, the
think.
two newcomers.
Yep. The guy who played Jesse was really good. Pedro Pascal, I thought, kind of just nailed every moment. I thought he did really good. I didn't think he nailed it every time season 1, or I just his version of the character I wasn't like as sold on as like the game. Whereas like I didn't really have any of those complaints this season. Of course, he died. He was only in 3 episodes, but that's nearly half. So he's there. I know people are complaining about Bella Ramsey, but I honestly really liked her characterization of Ellie. I think her transformation of Ellie is there, and I think the 3 stages of her becoming this like vengeful monster, like you can see it in her eyes and her stare. And I don't think she gets enough credit here. And I
I don't
think a
think she
lot
does
of
either.
and I think like you have to. And they're like, "Oh, well," and I know you have a take that we're going to save. I thought I really liked her performance. I just think people don't like her performance because she doesn't look like Ellie. And I'm like, and like, of course, she has some of the cringe writing. I'm going to be a dad
Yeah, that line
lines.
is actually gold, though. I will fight. I will die on that hill. That line
I
is
like how she performed
hysterical.
it. It's like it's funny for it. Like it's funny. It's well done for reasons that shouldn't be there. But I like her performance. She feels like Ellie to me. She doesn't look like Ellie. I see her face, and I'm like, it doesn't look like Ellie, but she feels like Ellie. I think she plays her mannerisms well, like Ellie.
I think the
I
problem with
don't
her
know.
writing this season specifically was that they didn't give her enough maturity. She was still very much so like spunky, like a kid. And in the game, she's a lot more somber and a lot more reserved. And she still has that like sassiness to her, but it's a lot more. It's cooled off a lot. Whereas this, like, yeah, like the lines like "I'm gonna be a dad," I think is hilarious. It does feel odd for her to say that specifically for where she's at in her point, that
You,
point in her life.
the same criticism from season 1 applies here. There just wasn't enough time between the characters
Yeah,
because they tried to tell this in a very fast pace rather than slowing it down like a normal TV show should.
yeah.
And that's where they failed. They're like, "Oh, we're going to tell this fast-paced story, and that's the story." It's like, or you could slow it down and give us more, and just build these characters up naturally in a
Yeah, but they can do it for
slower
cheaper and give
pace.
you less.
Money,
Jacob,
goddamn capitalism. I don't want to talk about it anymore, Michael.
I'll make the
Let's
rules,
not
boo.
talk about it. All right, well, that's our cue. All right, Michael, thank you very much. This is Jake from Don't Evolve Me. Michael Schumer from Pixel Loose going to be uploading a video soon on TikTok, the Talkatic. All right, Michael, anything else before we go?
Not much, man. I've really enjoyed watching this season with you, and I still will be looking forward to season
Same.
3. But it's just gonna be. I'm a little bit more reserved. I think before we go, any criticism I have on this show, if you like the show, good for you. I have a lot of criticisms because I'm a huge, undeniably massive fan of this game. Which
Yes.
I actually do have to thank
Yes.
you for getting me to try it because
You're welcome.
I had seen the leaks that completely misconstrued how everything went, and I played it, and I was like, "Wow, I was a dumbass for listening to those." Because this isn't great. This show is fantastic.
It's great for reasons you don't like. Well, yeah.
Well, I'm a
Okay.
masochist, so actually, I would say I do like them.
But I do want to do season 3 predictions with you. As always, thank you, Michael. All right,
Sayonara, brother.
we're out.